गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। So, last chapter, the topic was the Atma. What is this Atma that was talked about? And there it was told that Saparyagad Ashukram Akayam Avranam Asnaviram Shuddham Apapaviddham and Kavir Manishi Paribhu Swayambhuhu Yatha Tathyato Arthan Vedadat Shashvatibhya Samabhya. And in this way, how do these the wise ones, how do they declare it? That it is Paribhu, it is Swayambhu, and so on. And first it was the negation, and then second sentence, second line of the shloka is the inclusiveness. The first one is neti neti, the second one is anvaya. Anvaya means all inclusiveness. And in this way, now having told, we are in Ishavasya Upanishad, verse number 8 we concluded, 9 we have to start, but in between Shankaracharya ji has given a bhashya, a commentary on Gyan Marg and Karma Marg, on these two. And this clarity, this comes in every Upanishad, it comes, Bhagavad Gita also it has come. Here it is only 18 verses, in this also it is given. On top of that, our Adi Shankaracharya ji, he is putting it distinctly for us to understand what is the distinction between the Jnana Marg and the Karma Marg. And majority of the people are lost in the Karma Marg, and through karma they want to have self-realization, and that is not possible. And therefore Adi Shankaracharya has given this taken special interest in giving these few verses to put our mind and give a picture to our mind with regards to what has happened till now and what is going to happen in the future in this text. So here he says, Atradhyena mantrena sarvaeshana परित्यागेन ज्ञाननिष्ठोक्ता प्रथमः वेदार्थः ईशावास्यमिदगं सर्वं यत्किञ्चिज्जगत्यां जगत् and ma grudha kasvasvidhanam iti. So here our Shankaracharya ji says that by the first mantra, Ishavasya Sarvam, that was the first mantra that was given, and and for whom was that? Here it says, mantrena sarva eshana parityagena jnana nishtha ukta prathamah vedarthaha. So that he who is a sannyasi, he who is a seeker of truth, he who has renounced, given up the three eshanas. Remember the three eshanas? Can someone tell me what are the three eshanas? Tell one.
Lokeshna or Viteshna? Viteshna.
Say again.
Putreshna, Lokeshna, Viteshna. Viteshna.
Ah. Okay. So these. So basic. Say that again.
Yaseshana. Putreshna, Vitteshna, Yaseshana. Yashas.
Yashas, yes. Or some places it is also, as they said, it is also called Lokeshna or Yasheshna. Yeah, both are okay. So he who has basically, so who is sannyasi? Who has given up these three ashanas? He is qualified to, to that person the first mantra was indicated or given. So basically there are two type of people. One are with desires and the other are without desires. And the one who is with desires is not to whom this first mantra is addressed. This first mantra is addressed to a person who has no desires. And desires have been categorized in these three, and these three umbrella of these three, putra, what is that? Putreshna, Viteshna and Lokeshna or Yaseshna. Under these three categories, all the desires get covered up. So now you tickle your heart and find out, do we have desires or do we not have desires? Are we living a desire free life or are we living a life with desires? So, so here he says that the explanation is about jnana nishtha, and the main purpose, what the Vedas are saying, that this mantra is for the one who has given up, parityagena, he who has given up the three desires. And who is that person who has given up the three desires? He is the sannyasi. Iti अज्ञानां जिजीविषूणां ज्ञाननिष्ठा संभवे कुर्वन्नेवेह कर्माणि जिजीविषेत् इति कर्म निष्ठोक्ता द्वितीयो वेदार्थः. So now Adi Shankaracharya is saying the second verse, to whom was it addressed? If he has already given up the desire in the previous verse to whom it was addressed, desire's child is action. So he is not to him kurvanneveha karmani. Why will the Upanishad speak like that to the person who has given up desires, who is not running after the world? So here it says ajnanam, those ignorant ones, Jijivrushunam means those who wish to live long. Jnana nishtha sambhave. And to them, those who want to live long, those who are still identified with the body, they want to maintain their existence as the body, to such a person the second mantra was addressed. So, why was it addressed? Because the Upanishad has only one purpose. What is that? It wants the best for you, whoever has come to listen to the Upanishads, whether without desires or with desires. So what is the recipe that the Upanishad is giving to the second type of person who is with desires, who wants to live long life, who is identified with the body? To such a person it was told, kurvanneveha karmani jijivishet shadagam samaha. See, understand don't get lost in karma and gyan. Understand the total context. And while you are understanding it, come to this clarity that self-realization is not possible as long as a desire is still lurking. Even the desire for realization, if it is there, realization will not happen. Why? Because realization is our natural state. Realization is our natural state. Having desires is unnatural. So, by whichever practice, the first student to whom the first one was told, he was given the vision of inclusivity, that everything is that. To the second one, who still identified with desires, to him it was told how he can go beyond those desires by seeing that there is some higher power who is prompting all these actions to come about. So therefore, perform your actions, and instead of saying that I am doing the actions, I am getting a result, you see that the action is offered at the feet of the higher, and the result that is coming, that is also given by the higher. So what will happen as a result? Your individuality, your doership will dissolve. This is exactly what we are doing in the 17th chapter, last few verses now. Om Tat Sat. Chant Om before the action. Tat, when the result of the action is there, chant Tat, so that it's coming from the higher. And Sat, dissolve that everything is as it is. Dissolve the doership. That was towards the doership. See? So, so in this manner, karma nishtha was told for those who are ignorant. And what it has told now in the next para, anayoscha or anayah cha निष्ठयोः विभागो मंत्र प्रदर्शितयोः बृहदारण्यके अपि प्रदर्शितः. What has just now been told by Ishavasya Upanishad has been reflected by the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad also. And so kamayata jayame syat. So that there is one that verse is there. So what is that? So kamayata, he willed, he desired, and whenever what is that desire? What did the infinite desire, or what did the person desire? The one who has desire, what does he desire? You only said that Putreshna, Lokeshna and Vitteshna. Maybe the sequence is wrong. So how does an individual expand himself? Through his child, isn't it? Only he extends himself. How many parents I have come across, or they have come, that whatever their parents did with them, they have done exactly opposite for their children because they didn't approve of that. Whatever they were lacking, they have provided for their children. See? That there will be someone there to light the pyre and my lineage will continue. Our family will continue. Putreshana. So now, can a person have a child by himself? No, then he will be then he needs a wife. Jaya is wife. Jaya. So he needs a wife. So kamayata jaya me syat. So that he desired that let me be many, To be many, he needs a wife. Then he got married. And once he got married, you all know it. I don't know. I don't have that experience. So you can write a give a different separate commentary on this whole topic, that what happens after marriage. That is not the topic of the Upanishad, but it has told. What is that? After that, he doesn't speak about the truth. He doesn't speak about the Isha. Then he speaks only what wife speaks. That is what is written here. I am not making it up. Huh? Then he says, इत्यादीनाम अज्ञस्य कामिनः कर्माणि इति. So with these that so kamayata etc., these verses, it is established that that such verses are only for the person who is besotted with desires. It cannot be for the sannyasi, these verses, because sannyasi doesn't have the desire for the world. Then it says, mana evasyatma vagjaya इत्यादि वचनाद अज्ञत्वं कामित्वं च कर्मनिष्ठस्य निश्चितम् अवगम्यते. So then it says that इत्यादि मन एवस्य आत्मा वाग्जायाः. Mind is the atma. Mind is the atma of what? This thought has come before. Mind is the atma of what? Mind is the atma of the senses. Without the mind, senses cannot function. What is the atma of mind? The intellect. Here we will just take it like that. See? So now, what is the husband's atma? Wife. What is the wife's atma? Husband. What is both of their atma? The child. And the story continues. The fall continues. Attachment continues. And as a result, desire continues. And the result of it is more activity continues, more projects. Nowadays, I don't know, so many people have had children. They are asking, Swamiji, should I send child to public school or private school? Which school is good? You are asking me who doesn't have any kids. See? Just now someone called before the class. He says, Swamiji, can I have 3 minutes of yours? I said, call me. Okay, call. What to do? No, I am building a house and the builder is sending these emails and that emails, and when I read the email, my heart beats very fast. I am very anxious. How do I handle it? 2 weeks ago, the son is not speaking to me properly, so my heart is beating. Arey yaar. Where does this end? There is only one sure short way of ending all this, by coming back to the source. So for such people who the ignorant one, the first line of this bhashya here in the top of this page 21, Ajnanam, Jiji Vishrunam, those who want to live long. See? To them it is being, about them we are talking about. What have they taken for granted? Their default setting is that mind is the self. I don't like this, I don't like that. I don't prefer this, I don't prefer that. Last 2 days I was staying with someone. What? Sleepover. And that kid, I don't like this. I don't want to eat vegetables. I don't want to eat fruits. I don't want chapati. I want pasta. Then mummy made pasta. No, after the pasta is made, I wanted this in the pasta. Why did you put this in the pasta? No end. We are also the same, isn't it? Waker, dreamer, sleeper. Waker, dreamer, sleeper. By chance, meditator. But even after meditation, again sleep. Where? In meditation. So waker, dreamer, sleeper, meditator. Waker, sleeper, meditator. Keep going around and round and never come out of it. Shoot. To shoot out of it, you have to be the first one. The one with no desires. And the one with desires is the person for whom this Kurvannevaha Karmani mantra was mentioned, and he has taken himself, the Atma, to be the mind, or the mind to be the Atma. Now assess yourself. You must have heard me saying this many times. I think, therefore I am, or I am, therefore thinking happens. And you will give me the right answer, but are you living it? Are you living it? Are you absolutely spot on, bang on, every moment of your existence, that you are not the mind, that you are the eternal witness? You are aware that the thoughts are coming and going. If not, then you have taken yourself to be the mind, to be the Atma. So with these verses, that mana evasya atma vagjaya, by these ityadi, similar sentences are there, verses are there in other Upanishads and Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. Agnyatvam kamitvam, it is necessarily that it is talking about that ignorant person who is addicted to karma and addicted to desire. To them these verses are mentioning. Then tatha cha tatphalam saptanna sarga saptanna sargasteshu atma bhavena atma swarupa avasthanam. So in this way, basically what he is saying is that he, how do I say, that that the result of this type of approach, where we take the mind to be the Atma, then it gives you a result, 7 results, and when a person, it gives 7 fruits, and when a person is doing bhavana in these क्या कहते हैं, when the ignorant one does dharana, does contemplation on these 7 fruits, then he gets that result, because that is where his nishtha is, that is where his commitment is, that is where his desire is, that is where his mind is focused upon. Like a child is focused upon the toys, you are all focused on your children or grandchildren. See? So where are we focused on? And here then he says that Vrihi and Yavadi, these are the 2 foods of the humans. Then Ut and Hut and Prahut are the 2 foods for the gods. And then mind, speech and pran, that is breath, they are the food for the Atma, and milk is the food for the animal kingdom. So these are the 7. So where are we? What are we focused on? So, huh. So here understand, those who want something or the other, they are caught up in the relative existence. They cannot escape the relative existence as long as there is a desire for something or the other. And uh, and they keep on, and thus uh, or you can take this the annam that was talked about, tat phalam saptanna sargasteshu. This seven can be the seven abodes. Bhur swap tapah mahajana satyam. These are the seven. So those who are addicted to desires, they can desire only that which is which they can imagine, or that which is available to them. They need an experience. They need something to unite with. They need something to unite with. Just like a man needs a woman to unite with, the tongue needs food to unite with, eyes, the vision needs some form to unite with. Exactly the same way. The individual, the ignorant individual, as long as he is living a desire oriented, he wants to live long, carry on his legacy, and then continue. Then he wants to go to heaven, he wants to go to Pitrulok, he wants to go to somewhere. Realization is something different. You cannot go to realization. You can go to Saket, you can go to Kailash, you can go to Vaikuntha, you can go to Satyalok, but you cannot go to the self. Why I cannot go to the self? What's wrong? Because you are the self. How can you go? Hey, this shift in clarity has to come about. So how long will this itch to go and realize, to become realized, the word is become, to become realized, how long will this itch continue to trouble you? As long as you have a desire. And therefore, now understand how you need to, what disposition should be there to whom the first verse was addressed. Anyway, then in the third paragraph we continue. So basically here what we are saying, tatha cha tat phalam saptanna sargasteshu atma bhavena atma swarupa avasthanam. Whatever the possible points of attractions in life are there, the seeker gives them up. He should give them up. Otherwise it will lead one. What is that? It will create the domino effect. Karma requires individuality. Karma requires doership. Understand this. And as long as there is a doership, karta, who has karma nishtha, that if I don't do it, how will I realize? If I don't do it, how will my ancestors get this and that? I. This fellow has to dissolve. So he who has given up all attractions, to that person karma cannot bind. Karma can bind whom? Activity can bind whom? Only the doer. But who is decided not to be a doer? How can he be enticed into anything? Can't be. And therefore, such people are interested in the Supreme and not interested. Such wise people are interested in the Supreme and not interested in the karma or the worldly life. And our understanding of karma means what? Some people's understanding is improve the society. Some people's understanding of karma is taking care of their family. For some people, the meaning of karma is doing the yajna yag. See, I'll tell you as we go ahead, because here it is what what is the there is a result of karma also. That will tell you when it comes. जायादि एषणात्रय संन्यासेन च आत्मविदां कर्म निष्ठा प्रतिकूलेन आत्मस्वरूप निष्ठा एव दर्शिता कृं प्रजया करिष्यामः येषानो अयम् आत्मायं लोकः इत्यादीनां. So here he says, again Brihadaranyaka Upanishad is quoted, and it says that those, what is that? Those who are interested, those who have given up the three desires, sannyasena, they have taken renunciation, and they are continuously contemplating and being abiding in the Atma, then karma nishtha pratikulena, then will they be ever attracted by karma? Will they be ever attracted by action, by doership? They will not. Why? Atma Swarupa Nishtha Eva Darshita. Because they are continuously abiding in the self, watching the self. See? There are no distractions for them. Where does karma begin? Karma begins where there is duality. Karma begins where there is sense of otherness. But he who has renounced everything, now there is nothing more to renounce. And how has that renunciation taken place? It is not by will. Maybe he started it that way. But who is a sannyasi? Naturally. His giving up of all desires is equivalent to your whole idea of yourself. That you are a body, that you have children, that you have a house, that you are someone. Everything being sucked out of you when you go to sleep. You are not giving it up. It's taken away. Like that. So, do you have a desire to give up all your memories, or do you have a desire to go to sleep? You have a desire to go to sleep. See, someone sent a SMS today, is today or yesterday, and one child, the teacher asks, "Children, is there darkness?" Everyone in the class said yes. One child said no. He said there is light. Absence of light is darkness. There is nothing called darkness. There is nothing called agyan. This agyan is for the agyani who has not recognized his essential nature. So he who is established in the self, he is contemplating on the self, whose focus is only on the self, who is seeing the self every moment. Can such a person be attracted by the karma, by the activity? No. So such people, what will they do by putreshana, vitteshana, lokeshana? What will they do with these three desires? They have got no purpose for it. Just as you have no purpose for all the desires that you harbored in the dream, which was very real when you were dreaming, but the moment you woke up, zero value. Can't even remember it. So Atma Gyan, Gyan Marg or Atma Gyan is told to those who are Atyashrami, those who are sannyasi, not to every Tom, Dick and Harry. And even if it is told to every Tom, Dick and Harry, only he can understand who has this quality. So here it is being narrated by Shankaracharya ji, so that we अपने को टटोले को क्या बोलेंगे? We assess ourselves where we are. Are we on the right track? Is our doership dissolving with every passing moment, with every passing day? Assess your day every night. Where are we? किं प्रजया करिष्यामः येषान्नो अयम् आत्मायं लोकः इत्यादिना ही दिखलाता है. हाँ, so I have already explained that part. Then ये तु ज्ञाननिष्ठाः सन्यासिनः तेभ्यः असूर्यानामते इत्यादिना अविद्वन्निन्दा द्वारेण आत्मनः यथात्म्यं सपर्यगात् इति एतद् अन्तैः मंत्रैः उपदिष्टम्. The one who is a Jnana-nishtha sannyasi, ye tu Jnana-nishtha sannyasinaha, for him only the Asurya Namate Loka, from that verse onwards till the 8th verse, the Saparyagat, from 3rd verse till 8th verse. So, this is where the beauty of Shankaracharya is. This 3rd verse to the 8th verse was being addressed to the sannyasi, and to him the 1st verse was told. So the expansion of the 1st verse is from the 3rd verse to the 8th verse. So that and with these mantras the Ajnani, the ignorant one was censured, that and then it says te hi atradhikruta na kamina iti. So only though in this Atmanishtha, only such people who sannyasi, who those who have given up the three ashanas, only they have the right for Atmanishtha. They are qualified for Atmanishtha. See? Na kamina iti, not those who still have desires lurking in their bosom. They are not qualified for Atmanishtha. Na kamina iti. तथा च श्वेताश्वतराणां मंत्रोपनिषदि निषदि अत्याश्रमिभ्यः परमं पवित्रं प्रोवाच सम्यग् ऋषि संगजुष्टम इत्यादि विभज्य उक्तम. So similarly in the Shveta mantras, in that Shveta Upanishad, Shveta is also another Upanishad, and that also is a dialogue between student and teacher. There are 6 students and there is one teacher, and they come with 6 questions, and then the whole Shveta, it's a big text, not as big as Brihadaranyaka. Brihadaranyaka Upanishad is very big. Shveta we can take some time. And all of them were Grahasthas. And all of them have worked out that the world is not having any answers for them. And then Samitpani, Shrotriya, Brahmanishtam, they come. They having sorted out everything. No more Ashnas. No more desires. No more fulfillment required from this world. Then they approach the teacher. And then the Upanishad begins. So in Shveta also it has been told that that only he who has the Atyashramibhyaha paramam pavitram provacha samyak rushi sangha justam. So the having properly gained the knowledge and then getting established. See, when they talk about atyashrami, atyashrami or sannyasi, it's one and the same thing. It's one and the same thing. When you have got nothing to desire, then where are you? If you got nothing to desire, that is what the 3rd verse was told, no? Asurya nama te loka. Don't imagine that there are higher lokas and higher worlds and higher gods to go to. Sannyasi is not interested in all that. He is interested in the essence. He is interested in the common denominator. Not only of the self, but he knows the way to know the total, the Sat behind everything is only through knowing himself. It is not the other way around. I will come to know the base of the outside world, then I will come to know myself. It doesn't work that way. ये तो कर्मिणः कर्मनिष्ठाः कर्म कुर्वन्त एव जिजीविषवस्तेभ्यः इदमुच्यते. Those people who are karmanisht, those who are addicted to karma, those who are addicted to projects after projects after projects after projects, they can't sleep without starting a new project every day. They have to start a new business. They have to start something. I have to start buy a property. I have to build a house, and if that is done, oh, can I? Where else can I get a good deal? Then, if that is done, okay, now I worked very hard. Now what do? I can't sit quiet. I don't know how to sit quiet. Okay, let's go and do. We haven't seen Alaska. Let's go to Alaska. Come back from Alaska. Now what do? I don't have anything in front of me. Okay, let's go to Mexico. Let's go to Mexico and come back. Now what do? Let's go to Antarctica. Antarctica and come back. Now what? Then, okay, now I'll buy another, I'll start another business, or I'll start another something. One project after another project. Such people are called karmanishtha. Those who believe that only by doing things can happen. Only by doing. And they are addicted to it. So here it says, ye tu karminaha karmanishtaha karma kurvanta eva. That they want to live only working. They cannot imagine not working and living. And you must have all come across people that their mind comes to eat their own mind, because when there is no project in their life. Such people become social workers in society. They want to do seva. Go to Puttaparthi. You will find all the cases there. Not one sevak there is a happy person. So someone asked Satya Sai Baba, how come you talk about Satchidanand and look at all your workers, not one person is smiling anytime? Go at the door, go at the cook eating place, go at the checkpoint. Everywhere, everyone has a long face. He says they were all public servants in their last life. If I leave them outside from here, the world will be suffering. It's better they come here. So now the next verse, next three verses, 9th, 10th and 11th is the expansion, is the ongoing commentary on the second verse now. Remember, the first verse was commented upon, expanded upon, from 3rd verse to the 8th verse. So what was that? So that the sannyasi who is free from the three ashnas understands, doesn't get distracted by anything. For him the clarity was given. Now, the one who is ajnani, for whom the second verse was given, for him the 9th, 10th and 11th, and the topic is karma and upasana. Can through karma and upasana we can be realized or not? What is the topic? The coming together of karma and upasana. And then the next verse is that what is the result, what is the phala of karma and upasana. And then the third verse, okay, we'll talk about it when it comes. Vyakta and avyakta upasana coming together. So now we are in the ninth one now. So we have understood what Adi Shankaracharya is saying with regards to the first and the second verse, that the first verse is for the one who is beyond the three ashanas. To him he will be able to appreciate it, he will be able to understand it, he will be able to abide in it. Or to light a fire, you just need a spark. And once the spark catches fire, for that what do you need? You need the wood to be dry. And therefore it is told, Samit Panihi, come with the dry twigs on your head to the Guru Maharaj. So when we approach the Upanishads, come with a dry, don't come with any desires. Desires are wet. Exhaust everything. And to exhaust, you don't need to work them out. You just need to resolve that it's not worth pursuing them. See? So here he says, Andhantama pravishanti, Andhantama pravishanti, ye avidyam upasate, ye avidyam upasate, tato bhuya ivate tamaha, tato bhuya ivate tamaha, yahu vidyaya gangrataha, yahu vidyaya gangrataha, andhantama pravishanti, ye vidyam upasate, tato bhuya ivate tamo, yahu vidyaya gangrataha. So here, first line, ye avidyam upasate. Upasate here we'll just take it as focus for just one moment. Those ignorant ones who are focused on avidya, and what is avidya here? Vidya means, it's not a trick question. Vidya means knowledge. Avidya means no knowledge. What is the territory where karma functions? Avidya. Where there is no knowledge, what is the territory where darkness happens? Where there is no light. Understand? So where there is no complete knowledge of the self, as Jnaneshwar Maharaj says, there only ignorance is, no? So what is the meaning of avidya here? Karma. So what happens to them? Ye avidyam, they go to darkness, they enter into darkness. So those who pursue, those who contemplate, those who focus upon karma, another word for karma is avidya. That means they are not following the knowledge, that is the self. They are not pursuing the self. They are not accepting that self is. They go to darkness. Then the second line, tato bhuya ivate tamaha, yahu vidyaya gangrataha. And those people, those who follow vidya. So now again you have to understand that before also it was say vidya, now it is being said vidya. Now we will explain that in the commentary, I will explain it. So those who follow knowledge, we are not talking about Atma Vidya. We are talking about Thought Vidya. We are talking about the Vidya of, there are 64 knowledges. Narad Muniji, he pursued 64 streams of knowledge and became proficient in all of them. He was a great yogi, he was a great administrator, he was a great siddha, he was a great everything, blah, 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 blah. Sanskrit, bhajan, kirtan, music, dance, everything he mastered. Astrology, Dhanurvidya, Ayurveda, everything he mastered. Still he was not content. still he was feeling empty within. So here it is being told, those who follow Vidya, and here remember before it was told avidya is karma, here Vidya is being told as upasana. How do you follow Vidya? Like you and me are doing right now. How are we doing? Through words. Isn't it? This is knowledge for us. Pick up the words from the Upanishads, add a bit of spices and everything and present it. And you also listen to it. And the word comes, it passes through your mind or it passes through this right ear and it goes out of the left ear. This is what Upasana is for us. Every day listen to a satsang. And what is the result? I am still the same. The scriptures only say that you are the same one, you have never changed. I am the same one. Which one? The ignorant one. So here he says that those who follow the path of Vidya, Upasana, it seems they go into a deeper darkness. Those who follow karma, they enter into darkness, and those who follow Upasana or Vidya, knowledge, they go into deeper darkness. My God. So, Swamiji, we should stop listening to the Upanishads. If this Upanishad is only telling you, no, this clarity Upanishad is only giving us. So let's see what is the, let's unfold this, what Adi Shankaracharya ji says here. Katham punarevam avagamyate natu sarveshamiti. Now the student, or to whom Shankaracharya ji is himself raising the question, and what is the question? How do we come to know that this verse, that it is only for the karma nishtha and not for everyone? How do we know that? So the answers: akaminaha sadhya sadhana bhedo upamardena yasmin sarvani bhutani atmaiva bhut vijanataha. He says, listen, akaminaha, he who is without any desires, nishkam, for such a person, yasmin sarvani bhutani atma eva abhut vijanataha. So he says, for such people, there is the sadhya sadhana bhed is not there. Here it was told, no? Sadhya sadhana bhedopamardena, and then the verse is given. So for him the sadhya sadhana bheda is not there, meaning that whatever he is seeking, you and me are seeking through words. But where is our attention? Is our attention on understanding? Is our attention on an experience? Is our attention on some symptoms which will be the result of listening? Is our attention on, that was wonderful, it was so, I forgot the time, Swamiji. How did 1.5 hours go by? So your attention was on the time. Where is your attention in and through all this? So these people, it is being addressed to the one who is akami, akaminaha. And in this person who is akaminaha, the sadhya sadhana bhed, the seeker and the sought, this difference How does the seeker seek? Through sadhana. So seeker is I am, and the sadhya, the goal is somewhere, or in my mind, that I have to self-realize. This bhed, that I am seeking something, this has vanished from this person, akaminaha. Even the desire to realize has become null and void. That is called the sadhya sadhana bhed has vanished. There is no duality, there is no sense of otherness. I is seeking the I. Is that possible? Can I be the subject as well as the object? Is it possible? Can the eyes see the eyes? Is it possible? Then what happens? Find out. Akaminaha. Find out. Get to that point. Otherwise, even in our mind, we are seeking. I have to do Rudram, I have to do Narayana Suktam, I have to do this puja, I have to do that puja. Nothing wrong with it. But where is our attention? I have to do japa. I have to give lecture. You have to listen. Where is our attention? On how many more white, how many black hair are left in my beard? When we started Bhagavad Gita, it was all black, almost black. Now it has become white. Is that where our attention is? तत्र को मोह क शोकः एकत्वम् अनुपश्यतः इति यदात्म एकत्व विज्ञानम् उक्तं तन्न केनचित् कर्मणा ज्ञानान्तरेण वा हि मूढः समुच्चिषति. So one who has discovered oneness with all desires, see another way, giving up all desires and coming to the source is becoming one with all desires. Meaning what? All your desires stand fulfilled in toto, simultaneously. Wow. How come? How is that possible? Think. If self is all that there is, it is the source of everything, it is inclusive of everything, and you have come to know the self by being the self, then everything in this world is yours. Because you are already it. You don't even need to desire it. This is what it means here. That he who has discovered oneness with all discovered the oneness, for him there is no shoka moha ka shoka ko moha, क्या कहते हैं, को मोह का शोकः, because he has come to know the truth, he has come to know the Atma, and having known the Atma, he is pervading all the desires. He has got all the fruits of all the desires in one go. And we are eating food, breakfast, lunch, dinner, still we don't feel satisfied. We sleep every day, still we are tired. We go to job, we come back, we earn some money for the day, but next day again we have to go to work. No satisfaction. Because, and thus, all the sense of otherness has disappeared. Uh, Once when the knowledge is established, then he once knowledge is established, then he will never be able to mix karma with that knowledge. Once you have woken up from the dream, are you still thinking about the activities of the dream? Can you continue to be the doer of the dream? Can you continue to plan your projects of the dream? Continue to pursue your duties of the dream? No, it all becomes zero because you are woken up, isn't it? Same way, when we wake up to ourselves, when the self reveals, and when will the self reveal? When you give up the three ashanas. Give up the last desire to realize also. Straight away, don't work on that one. Assess yourself where you are. इह तु समुच्चिशीषया अविद्वद आदि निंदा क्रियते. Now, in the following mantra, those who are ignorant, they are being condemned. Avidvadadi ninda kriyate. Tatra cha yasya yena samuccayah sambhavati nanyatah shastratah va tad iha uchyate yad evam vittam devata vishayam jnanam karma sambandhitvena upanyastam na paramatma jnanam. Now, with a pinch of salt, understand what is being told, because it will shake you. What is being told? What is told? That those people, those who are ignorant, they were being condemned. And who are these people? Those who are doing only karma and or upasana. So following avidya or vidya, karma or upasana, they are being condemned for by following these two paths of karma and upasana together. If they follow these two paths together, they will be in balance. But majority of the times it is seen either a person is doing only karma or he is seen to be doing only upasana. How do you say that? How many of you get up in the morning, take shower and have a dedicated 1 hour, half an hour for your puja, archa, japa, stotrams, etc. and rest of the day you feel satisfied? I spent half an hour in the morning doing puja. So in the morning you did your japa, you did your meditation, you read your few verses of Bhagavad Gita, or you listened to one satsang, and the rest of the day karta bhav. I am doing it. I am the speaker, I am the doctor, I am the husband, I am the wife. Goes on. Karta bhav. And karta can only do karma. And karma is avidya. And when you do karma, two things, I think it will come somewhere. If it is not, I can mention it again. If it doesn't come, I will mention it. So, after having told this, why is this so? That why the ignorant have been condemned, and that those who are doing karma and upasana, they are condemned. Why this is so? And in the answer he says tatra cha yasena, that whole thing, what we just read, because because that which can be practiced together should be supported. That which can be practiced together is supported by the scriptures, and that is only told here. Scriptures, Upanishad is not telling something to confuse you. Therefore, jnana and karma, तद इह उच्यते यद एवं वित्तम देवता विषयम ज्ञानम कर्म संबंधित्वेन उपन्यस्तम न परमात्म ज्ञानम. So here, in relations to karma and upasana, with relation to karma and upasana, the knowledge that which has been given by the Upanishadic mantras is only about the karma. Is about, what is karma about? About the karta. That same karta is available in upasana also. I am doing the mantra jap, for example. I am doing Vedic chanting. I am doing Rudram. And if the Rudram, that particular day, everything falls into the place, the right intonation, beautiful, and it goes on. You feel so invigorated. And if you get hooked into that bliss, you have lost the plot. If you get invigorated, you have lost the plot. So here it says that so here when it says yad evam vittam devata visham, vittam, wealth, is with regards to devatas, because devatas are which who give you the siddhis. That is also vittam, wealth. So it has to be understood in that way. And the knowledge that is being talked about here, when we say avidya is karma and vidya is upasana. So this vidya which we are talking about, it is with reference to the devatas and not the atma vidya, not the atma gyan. It is relative. It is not the absolute one. Understand, because this deciphering of the mantras, opening up the mantras, what each mantra is, what each word is indicating, what is the theme that is flowing through the various mantras. Only a person like Shankaracharya can present it to us. Therefore, we don't put our brains in it. We follow it and appreciate and see that vision that is being presented, is it true in our life or not? And if it is, correct it as we are reading and understanding and contemplating through it. Not afterwards, right now when we are listening. So the explanation is about with respect to the gods and not about Paramatma Jnana. Na Paramatma Jnanam. This is where we stop. Vidyaya Devalokaha, given in Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, iti pruthak phalashravanat. With knowledge, you attain to godly abodes, and there are 7 godly abodes, isn't it? So when you do karma, when you do only karma, when you follow avidya, the maximum, and if you have done it to the T, you have done it, I have been a good husband and a good father and a good son and a good, everything good. Maximum what will you get as a result? Pitrulok, that's all. धत तेरी की, इसी के लिए मैंने सब कुछ किया. If you do upasana, what will you get? What will be the result? Maximum Devlok, depending where your attention is. The Bhuvalok or Tapahalok or Janahalok or Mahalok or Satyalok, depending where you have been, what you have been contemplating on. No Atma Sakshatkar. No. Why? Because you are pursuing something. If you are running after something, then it has to take that your mind will take you somewhere, whatever you have imagined it to be. So, Devatas are a part and parcel of. How do you know Devatas? Let's say, put it this way, before I put the conclusion in front of you. How do you know Devatas?
Through mind.
Through mind. Mind functions in what way?
Duality.
Duality.
Aham and idam.
Aham and yes. But how does it function? Through thoughts, isn't it?
Through
Aham is
thoughts.
also a thought, idam is also a thought. Right? And all Devatas, do you take them as aham or idam?
Idam.
Idam. So they are an object of experience, isn't it? So you are not taking them as Atmatvena. Even if you are chanting Om Namah Shivaya, you think, oh, I have to reach Kailash. If you take Sri Ram Jai Ram, I have to reach Saket. If you take Om Shri Krishna Sharanamama, I have to reach Vaikuntha. That it's a destination somewhere. This never comes to our mind. That destination is right here and now. It doesn't come to us. And therefore, we become bhor, vibhor, go into ecstasy. If the mind becomes quiet, we go into ecstasy, etc. All those drama things happens. And that's another complete journey of Kundalini and the various experiences. Why those experiences happen? That is Vittam. Those experiences, esoteric experiences, mystical experiences, and as they keep happening, Siddhis also come. Siddhis are the Vittam. Siddhis cannot come if the Devatas are not pleased. You understand how everything is connected. If Devatas are not pleased, you will not get the Siddhi. So what are you pursuing then? Self-realization. And then you term it God realization. But God, which God? Are you seeing God as the self? Are you seeing God as Isha Vasamidagam Sarvam? Or you are seeing God, the one who lives in Vaikuntha or Kailash? See? So the Advaita Drishti is where it's not a cup of tea for everyone. And when I say this, many people may not like it. As Shankaracharya is explaining, I am putting his words across. Because everything that has been our Aadhar for our whole life, whether Krishna or Rama or Shiva, let it continue, but understand. Many masters have realized, through Ram they have realized the self, isn't it? That will be told in the next chapter, next verse actually. Here we are talking only about avidya and vidya. The distinction is avidya is karma and vidya is upasana. Karma takes you to darkness and upasana takes you to even greater darkness. Now you understand. I will explain it in another way. It's not given here, but I am adding to it. Suppose you are doing upasana, Vaikhari Madhyama Pashyanti Para, which we are doing at Amrit Anubhav, isn't it? Now, if there is no sense, initially you will start with effort, and by the time you reach Madhyama and Pashyanti, it has become effortless. If at that time the Nished, so what is happening? From you have given up you have renounced Vaikhari, then you have renounced Madhyama, then you have renounced uh, Pashyanti. You have given up. If you overdo giving up, if you overdo giving up, you will land up in void. Instead of going beyond para, you will end up in void. See, this is the drawback. And unless and until upasana is not done, this thought will come in the next verse, I think. But I don't know if how it is explained. When we read, we will see. But it is coming out like this right now for me. But when we do upasana and we are clear that this upasana must lead, as it is going from Vaikhari to Madhyama to Pashyanti to Para to from gross manifest to subtle manifest to unmanifest or beyond, you have to remain awake. And you have to do the entire upasana. And there is karma, no? Because you are doing upasana with will. I am doing upasana, so project is in your hand. Mala is in your hand. The word mantra is on your lips. So karma activity is taking place. But if it is not done, that it is by His grace it is taking place, that I am doing it, then when that final moment comes when you need to transcend the thought of the mantra, instead of transcending, will fall into andhatamaha. That is deeper darkness. And that deeper darkness is void. Many places, books, you will read this verse, this thought, that going into the void. We don't want to go into the void. We want to be established in the self as the self. There is no place for void. We are of the nature of light. Om na tatra suryo bhati na chandra tarakam. That we are, essentially. That's what Atma is. It is not darkness. It is not void. And therefore, this is another way of, it is not given in the Bhashya, but I am just because the thought came, so I mentioned it. विद्यया देवलोकः इति पृथक फल श्रवणात्. कहाँ क्या टाइम हो गया? 5 मिनट है. So here we are not condemning anything or anyone. We are not even condemning the Ajnani. The whole purpose of the Upanishad is, or this Shankaracharya is, to show you clearly where you stand, for whom the first verse was and for whom the second verse was. तयोः ज्ञानकर्मणोः कर्मणः इह एकानुष्ठान अनिंदा समुच्चिचीषया न निंदा पर एव एकैकस्य पृथक् फल श्रवणात्. Then he says that so that it is to show to us that this condemnation of karma and upasana is not actually a condemnation, but it is to highlight that these two are not, those who are stuck in these two are not qualified to know the truth. That is why this has been brought about. Uh, so what happens is, see, when we do karma or upasana, what is the what is the resultant of karma upasana? You have to do karma upasana again. But when you are established in the self, do you have to establish in the self again? No. Once you are established, established. And therefore, if we are doing meditation and doing samadhi abhyas, it must not, we must not get addicted to it. Otherwise, that is andhatamaha. What? Samadhi abhyas. We have to get out of it. Because again, now, before you had waking, dream, deep sleep. Now you have waking, dream, deep sleep and samadhi. And you are going through these four. You are not shot out of the gravity of cyclical existence. विद्यया तदारोहन्ति विद्यया देवलोकः न तत्र, दिस कम्स इन बृहदारण्यक उपनिषद, न तत्र दक्षिणायन्ति कर्मणा पितृलोकः, अगेन इन बृहदारण्यक उपनिषद. So here it is said that this conclusion that we have come to, it is also supported by the such verses in the Upanishads. And if we follow only karma or only upasana, the results are different. Now he says the results are the results are different. What is different? Karmana pitrulokaha. That if you do karma, the result will be pitrulok. So I told you before, but it's here. And by following upasana, what will be the result? The result will be Devalok. Now Devalok, you can decide which Dev you want to go to. So is Pitrulok and Devalok the same? No, it is not the same. Are the different Devalokas the same lokas? No, they are all different. So it is not a permanent residence. Again you will be shunted out. Again you will be shunted out of there. See, when we do karma yoga, not karma yoga, when we follow karma marg, if we are doing it correctly as an offering to the divine, offering to the what is kurvanneveha karmani jiji vishet shatagang samaha. So kurvanneveha, there we explained that if you want to do karma, do the karma as an offering to the higher. What will be the result? One is pitrulok, we told. But what will be the other result? The result will be a common man, an ignorant person, when he performs the karma without offering to the higher, then what happens to him? Either he likes the result or he dislikes the result. The precipitation of raga dvesh comes about. But when we are performing yajna, yag, adi, puja, havan, ye wo sab karte rehte hain, and if in that there is no I, and you are offering it to the divine, not loka samasta sukhino bhavantu, there is no ownership, no, you are doing it not for the society, you are doing it for yourself. If it comes about, so be it, but we should not be the organizers of that. Someone they started doing puja. I said, do puja, no problem, but let it be your sadhana. Don't make it into a profession. Bhagwan has taught you the mantras, you have learned the doing puja. Go around and see it as an opportunity that Bhagwan is giving you opened so many doors to remember him. Somewhere Satyanarayan, somewhere Chandi home, somewhere what do you call, Rudra home, somewhere Ganesh puja, somewhere this puja, somewhere that, and be totally introverted. See that you are connecting with him. See? So when we are performing the karma every day with discipline, no time for us for ragadvesh. Because I am here at this particular, I got no choice not to speak. Then to speak, I have to see what the Sanskrit verses are saying. So if you live your whole day in a disciplined manner, no place for you, for tamas to enter. Yes, rajas is there, but now that raja, and where is your attention? Your attention is on the higher, that he is the one who's making it all happen. I am not doing it. He is giving the inspiration, he is sending, he is prompting from within to go and do this puja. This recognition, how things are coming together for a particular event to happen. Then there will be no, I like this result, I don't like this result. Then what it will be? जैसे रखी राखे राम तही विधि रही है. See, understand this part. I will just conclude here and then we'll continue in our next class. Nahi shastra vihitam kinchid akartavyatam iyat. And these results of karma marg to Pitrolok and Upasna marg to Devalok. These are results achieved outside. These are results achieved outside. But where is Atma Sakshatkar? Is it outside or inside? It's inside. Where are we looking for when we are doing puja? Where is our attention? On the Vigraha. When we are doing Manasik puja, where is our attention? It is on the image of the Lord in our mind. So we are still looking outwards. We are looking away from the self. If we can bring ourselves to look within, not look without. And for that, if you want to put it this way, karma is done outside, upasana is done inside. Where karma and upasana come together, it's a healthy mix. If it is done with awareness. And we'll talk more about it. So remember, what did we say? If karma done separately, it leads to Pitrulok. If upasana done separately, leads to Devalok. But if karma and upasana are done in unison, simultaneously, so are we leading our life at this moment? You are doing some profession or the other, you are doing your duties as parents or employees or whatever. It's a karma going on. Is our attention within, or is our attention only on the karma? Are we doing only the karma? Are we doing only the upasana? Upasana will mean, merging of karma and upasana will mean karma activity is going on in the physical world, puja, yaga, etc. And upasana, that you are seated. Upa means sitting. Asana is the sitting. Up means near. So you are sitting near what? Are you sitting near the self? Are you seated inside and allowing the karma to happen outside? Now, many of you, are you thinking, thinking yourself worried that how do I wash dishes? Or it automatically happens? Do you have to think how to walk, or walking automatically happens? Do you have to think how you see, or seeing automatically happens? Do you have to think that how do I digest my food, or digestion automatically happens? So where karma and upasana, activity, where these two come together, the outer activity and inner activity, where they merge together, that's the point we want to reach. More on that in our next class. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Sit quietly for a moment. Hari Om.
Hari Om Swamiji.
Hari Om. Sorry for what?
Hari Om Swamiji.
Hari Om Swamiji.
Take care. Take care, take care. Go back to work. Go back to work. Those who are working. Hari Om.
Hari Om Swamiji.
Hari Om.
Hari Om Swamiji.
Hari Om.
हरि ओम स्वामी जी.
हरि ओम प्रमिला.
कैसे हैं आप?
हाँ एकदम बढ़िया.
Oh, that's good.
हाँ हाँ एकदम फर्स्ट क्लास.
Oh, that's good.
You keeping well?
बहुत अच्छा.
You keeping well?
Yes.
And Shri?
हाँ, बहुत बहुत ठीक, अच्छा है.
बढ़िया
हाँ.
बढ़िया. Very good.
हाँ, अच्छा है.
हरि ओम.
अच्छा, okay.
See you Bhageshri. See you Saket. Bye. Good night.
Hari Om Swamiji.
Good night. Good night.